Yeah. Welcome back to the Audacity Podcast. I am the man on the street. And today on the Audacity Podcast, what we're going to be discussing is what? That sad situation coming out of Cabo, Mexico. Yes, let's talk about Shanquila Robinson's situation. And also, let's talk about the 4 college students who got killed in Idaho. So are you ready? I know I am. So let's go. Yes, let's talk about this sad situation. Man, this one kind of hit home because, I have a daughter and her girlfriends, they take trips all the time. And man, it's just crazy how the world is. You go down there with some friends and you don't come back home. And all that's left is what? Memories and what could have been. And nobody is talking. All the friends are like, we don't know nothing. I just don't understand. This one is kind of, it's really sad. It's really sad. And, the family needs answers. The family needs answers, and, the ones that knows what really happens, they're like keeping their mouth shut. And I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Why would you do that to somebody that you call a friend or somebody that you love? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And like I said, this one kind of hit home to me. Like I said, my daughter, she got some good girlfriends and some good friends that are male. And, they get out and they go out and have a good time, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Same with my son. He has friends and they get out and they have a good time, and you never want to get that call about your children and nobody is talking. So my prayers go out to the family. So what I want to do is we're going to check out some of these news cycles and hear what they have to say on this situation. Okay, rest in peace, young lady. Rest in peace.
All new at 6, the mystery surrounding a Charlotte woman's unexpected death in Mexico now making international headlines. You've likely seen the hashtag Justice for Shanquella trending on social media.
Yeah, her family says she went on a trip to Cabo last month with friends, and while the group made it back to the States, 25-year-old Shanquila Robinson never made it back alive. WCNC Charlotte's Brianna Harper is taking a closer look at all these questions surrounding Robinson's death. So, Bree, we've certainly seen all of these nationwide efforts to try to get answers in this case.
Yeah, Fred and Vanessa, in just a matter of days, this bizarre and tragic story has taken off, with millions of posts being shared online and even celebrities weighing in trying to seek justice for Shanquilla Robinson. But of course, with social media, there can be a lot of misinformation, so we want to break down the facts and what we've learned so far. According to blog The North Carolina Beat, Shanquilla Robinson and a group of friends left for Cabo San Lucas, Mexico on October 28th. Less than 24 hours later, the blog says those same friends claimed Robinson wasn't feeling well due to alcohol poisoning, and she later died. Her parents don't believe that's the case. Video posted online that WCNC Charlotte is choosing not to air due to the graphic images shows Robinson being attacked by one of the friends she traveled with. A retired FBI assistant director I spoke with says the death should certainly be investigated.
Based on the autopsy, I think this is a suspicious death that ought to be thoroughly investigated. And the more you put it on the front and center with the media, and I've had experience with this before, the more the Mexican government will apply pressure to their investigative agencies to get to the bottom of it.
So far, no one in the group is facing any charges related to the assault on Robinson or her death. Her family now pushing for answers from Mexican investigators. While there is a statute that gives the FBI and State Department the ability to investigate the murder of a U.S. citizen in a foreign country at the hands of another U.S. citizen, there are some limitations.
The foreign country is willing to prosecute or has undertaken to prosecute that individual, then they won't exercise that jurisdiction. The other one is if the perpetrator is out of the country where the murder took place, and that country has no means of prosecuting or investigating the perpetrator.
Wow. There's no words that I could say about that report from that news channel. As you can see, there's still a lot of unanswered questions that the family needs to get. These so-called friends, they have the answers. And if they truly want closure, or they want to have that peace of mind, they got to come and do the right thing. It's just sad about this situation. Just like the news channel said, the video is very disturbing, and I won't be showing the video on my channel. I know there's other YouTubers and there are other influencers who will be showing the video, but I will not be showing the video. But truth be told, I did see the video, and now I wish I hadn't seen it, because it shows the last minute of this young lady's life before it was taken from her family members. So it's just sad. The family needs answers. The only good thing I could say that came out of the video being shown is that the family actually, they will get answers, not just the lies that the friends have been telling. Now the truth will come out. The truth will come out. So for that, I'm glad that the video exists, because without that video and the autopsies, they probably will get away with murder, but I don't think they will. And hopefully justice will be served. So what I want us to do is take a listen to the mother and father and hear how they got the news, and hopefully hear how they want this murder to be handled.
A North Carolina family is pushing for answers after their 25-year-old daughter died while on a trip to Mexico. Shanquilla Robinson's parents say that she visited Cabo San Lucas last month with friends, and those friends claim that she suffered from alcohol poisoning before she died. But disturbing new information has emerged, causing her family to question what they were told. Salamandra Robinson is Shanquilla's mother, and she's joining us now. And I got to tell you, I am appreciative that you are joining us now, because I can only imagine the pain and the anger that you are feeling right now, and I know you want answers. We mentioned that you were initially told that your daughter had alcohol poisoning. So can you talk a little bit more about when you first found out that your daughter had been hurt, had died, what you were told, and what made you question what you were told?
Well, I received a call on Saturday saying that my daughter was sick and that she had alcohol poison, but her doctor had never arrived, so I don't know where they had got the alcohol poison from. So at that time, they said a doctor was on the way to examine her, and she wasn't responding as they told me. Said she was resting a little bit, but she wasn't all the way responding as normal. So I told them to keep me informed, and I wanted to know why they couldn't take her to the emergency room. They said because they needed $5,000 cash to be seen in the emergency room. And I said, well, she has insurance. And they said they didn't take insurance by being out the country. It was a little different. So at that time, I told them just keep me informed, and they did call back, but they still saying it was alcohol poison. So by later on that evening, they called and said that Shanquilla had passed. And at that point, it just took my heart, crumbled up, just knowing my child was gone, and I couldn't get there to her, could not do anything. And they said the medics came, 3 medics came, and no one couldn't do anything, couldn't save her. But I believe Shanquilla was already passed, had already passed. But later on that next day, I got a call saying that they was over there fighting Shanquilla, saying they don't know why they was putting on alcohol poison, say Shanquilla, they was jumping on her.
Who called you?
And these were the friends that she was with.
So the friends that she was with said it's not alcohol. They initially said it was alcohol poisoning, and then they said, no, it's not. There was a fight.
There was a fight. This was a phone call that I received that it was a fight. So the video had to be out before they actually come back to Charlotte.
So there's a video on, for people that don't know, there's a video that surfaced on social media that's very disturbing. You've seen this video, I know. Did you get a call from the police at any point about what they found?
Oh, I never received a call from the police saying what they found.
Or an autopsy, anything like that?
Later on that week, that Thursday, we received the call. That was the autopsy saying that her death had nothing to do with alcohol. Say she had a cracked spinal and say her neck had been broken. So that automatic let me know that she were jumped.
So did you, at that point, have you spoken with the friends that were with her since then?
I spoke to the friends, like they had, when she actually passed, it was on a Saturday evening, night when they called. But I talked to them, I think they'll ride back home maybe Sunday or Monday. And I talked to them like on Tuesday and Wednesday. I talked to them Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And they kept on saying there was never a fight. There was never a fight. So I didn't believe any stories. So after we received the autopsy on Thursday evening, and the autopsy told us what had actually happened to her. And so that took it to a whole nother level because, they're saying that it was alcohol, and alcohol was not the cause of her death.
Yeah.
They jumped on her over there. And if you see the video actually shows that she was not fighting nobody back. She didn't even have a chance. All of them sitting there looking, no one sat, tried to stop it. She had nobody over there to help her,
So this
there was nothing she could do.
This is a video that's circulating on social media. Just to clarify, when you saw that video, did you think that was your daughter?
Yes, that was my daughter.
Okay. Did the friends talk about the video? Did they acknowledge the video in any way?
No, never. They never acknowledged the video.
As far as you know, obviously, because this has happened in Mexico, which complicates everything, the Department of State has issued a statement saying that they're aware of the reports. What do you know from the Mexican authorities and even the Department of State about where things stand then? You mentioned the autopsy report. What have you learned?
Well, I have learned now that they are looking at it as murder. And I was glad to hear that.
This, so often it is mothers that really sort of push and push and push. And I know this is hard. Your daughter, I want you to tell us more about her. She is obviously not just a headline in a story. Tell us about your daughter.
Well, Shanquilla was sweet, very kind. She had a heart of gold. She loved everybody. She didn't mistreat nobody. Never, no one could possibly ever say anything bad about her because she was a good person.
Was she close friends with the people that she went on this trip with?
Well, all I know that she went to college with them. That one of the guys supposed to have been her best friend. And he had went on family trips with us, and he'd been to the family house. We all been on trips together, just good time. And I never thought that he could be that low to do my child like that.
Have you heard from him since all of this happened?
Yeah, he came to the house 4 days in a row until he found out we knew what the autopsy said.
And you haven't seen him since?
Haven't seen him since.
And Salamandra, have they given you any sense of a timeline? As far as I know, you said that they're investigating this now as a murder, but have they given you any sense of a timeline as to when you may hear more from them?
No, they just said they're still working on it.
Well, we want to acknowledge, we mentioned that you've seen the video. The reason we've chosen not to show it is it is disturbing. We can't verify the authenticity of it at this point. As you mentioned, you saw it, you believe that's your daughter. But we appreciate you sharing your story and what you believe happened. And as Anne-Marie said, it is moms who often do fight for their children that never give up.
We hope you get the answers that you're seeking.
Yes, I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll stay in touch. Salamander Robinson.
It was they attacked her, ma'am. It wasn't no physical. They attacked her, ma'am. I mean, it seemed like from my daughter was asleep, ma'am. You know, for all of them to be in that room, and then you know they come in there like I don't know, she woke up or whatever. The way it seemed like they attacked her, ma'am, and she naked, ma'am. You know, for a father to see that video, ma'am, because my daughter's not a fighter, ma'am. She's not a fighter, not at all. For them to do what they did, ma'am, it just seemed like it was a plot because they couldn't have did that over here, ma'am. They couldn't have did that over here, you know, where her friends, all her friends are. You know, it wouldn't have went down like that, ma'am. They don't realize, you know, what they done done, ma'am. They just robbed, they just put a hole in my heart, ma'am. That was my only child. I'm just heartbroken, man. You know, I can't even be a granddaddy. Can't even walking down the aisle, man. Can't even hear a voice. Can't even hear say daddy. Mom, you know, can't even hear say daddy. Can't even hear say grandma. You know, y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know what this has done to me. Just don't know, ma'am. You just don't know. Just don't know. Just don't know. You know, I thought she'll be burying me. Not me burying her.
What do you hope happens in this situation when it comes to getting justice for your girl?
They get charged for it, ma'am. And they go back over there and do the time, because that's where they did the crime at. And they left her there, ma'am. They left her in that house, ma'am. They left her there for the maids to find her. Don't you know how much of pain my daughter suffered for the injuries, you know, that she took? You know, she was smaller frame, man. You know, for them to sit there and try to get her no help or nothing. I just want justice, man. I'm just angry, hurt, sad, all in one, man. All in one. And I've been dealing with this from day one when I got the phone call saying that she had passed, man.
Wow. What words just can't explain what that family is going through. You can hear the pain in the mother's voice, especially the father's voice. That hit home with me. You know, I got the chance to walk my daughter down the aisle. Two beautiful grand boys. And just to hear that in his voice that he won't be able to experience that hit home. The mother explaining how she got the call and what she was told. That's just a nightmare that you don't wish on your enemy. And these so-called friends, you wouldn't want your parents to go through the situation that you're putting this family through. So y'all need to come clean and deal with the consequences of your actions. There's nothing you can say to a family in this situation, because this pain is going to be felt for a long, long time. And like I say, just hearing that father, my heart breaks for him. You know, everybody, you know, yes, you only get one life, but you don't expect your children to die before you. You expect your children to bury you. And that father, my heart just breaks for him. So, justice for this young lady and her family. And that's from your man on the street. Now, let's turn our attention to another sad situation that I saw that happened in Idaho with 4 college students. Man, I mean, from one sad story to another, you know. So let's take a listen to this news report and hear how, you know, this turn of events came about.
A murder mystery in Idaho. 4 University of Idaho students were found dead in their off-campus apartment. It's now being investigated as a homicide. Kana Whitworth has the latest. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, George, good morning. So I spoke with the mayor in Moscow, Idaho last night. He described the crime scene as complex. He said Idaho State Patrol has now joined this investigation, adding that they're bringing in their mobile processing lab to help solve this case. This morning, a tight-knit community in northern Idaho reeling after 4 University of Idaho students were found dead in an apartment across the street from campus.
I think it's shocking for everybody.
Police are calling it a homicide. Authorities say the initial call for an unconscious person came in just before noon Sunday. But Mayor Art Betke telling ABC News the crime happened hours before.
Given what the nature of the scene was, they've indicated that it was 3 or 4 in the morning when things happened.
Once officers arrived, they found a horrifying scene. 3 women and 1 man, all members of the Greek community on campus, were dead. The foursome seen here in this photo posted by Kaylee Goncalves just hours before their deaths.
There isn't a person on campus who isn't affected by this. I mean, these are like really adored and loved people on our campus.
Freshman Ethan Chapin's brother telling ABC News in a statement, "We are triplets, and it's hard to imagine life without him." Upon learning of their deaths, an alert was sent to students to shelter in place. It was lifted less than an hour later.
There's been no named suspect, but as this investigation continues, you believe that the students and residents of the city are safe right now.
Right. Especially because given the very focused nature of what went on there, no other apartments nearby were involved. And in the ensuing 8 or 9 hours between the actuality of the crime and the call into the police, nothing happened. I think the eventual conclusion is going to bear out the fact that this was a one-off crime that was committed and was very focused and doesn't involve other students or the public in general at all.
Now, the mayor went on to say that he thinks a suspect could be named in the coming days. He also said there in Moscow, the city and the university are incredibly intertwined. And you guys, he described this crime as horrific, rare, and isolated.
All right, and yeah, heartbreaking.
Were the 4 college kids brutally murdered with a knife like this one? It's called a Rambo knife. It's got a 7-inch long blade. You can see part of this steel blade is serrated. Detectives have been going to sporting good and other stores in the area to ask if they sold a brand like this made by K-Bar. The actual murder weapon has not been found, and police are searching dumpsters, hoping to find it. The mystery deepened when police revealed the shocking information that 2 other roommates were inside the house when the 4 students were slaughtered. Published reports identified the roommates as Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, both 21. Have they lawyered up? Are they concerned about being questioned? Are they cooperating?
It's my understanding that they're fully cooperative with investigators.
The local police chief says cops weren't called until 9 hours after the murders.
You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning, and the 911 call didn't come until noon?
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, you know, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. Well, I'm not going to go into what they shared that night.
This is the house where the murders took place. There's a keypad lock on the front door, but friends say many people knew the code. Around the back of the house is a sliding door, which may have been unlocked. The house is large, 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Police aren't saying where in the house the 4 bodies were found. In a day of fast-paced developments, the manager of a food truck popular with students says he remembers victims Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan ordering food at 1:30 a.m. Sunday. That's only about 2 hours before they were murdered. He also noticed a man who appeared to be watching them, as seen in this video.
Seems like a guy arrived similar to the same time that they do. It seems like he almost looks exactly like the camera and then puts a hat on and pulls his hood up and then starts moving off to the side and then is hanging around the truck, seems interested in them, and then leaves around the same time that they leave.
Police have not named any suspects, but are walking back their controversial claim that there is no threat to other students at the University of Idaho.
We cannot say that there's no threat to the community. And as we have stated, please stay vigilant, report any suspicious activity, and be aware of your surroundings at all times.
A handful of students held a vigil at the campus gates last night. Many have fled the campus.
Please stand and join us in a moment of silence.
The slain were also remembered at a University of Idaho basketball game last night. Kaylee Consalves' sister, Autumn, warned other students to leave. If he is sick enough to murder 4 sweet, innocent humans so brutally, he's sick enough to do it to anyone.
I'd like to thank you for watching the Audacity podcast. I am the man on the street. And this podcast was one of the most difficult ones that I ever did. But it needs to be done. Be vigilant when you're walking or you're hanging out with your friends or, wherever you're going. Because you never know. You never know. So make sure that if you're going somewhere that your family members know who you're going with. And make sure your friends are truly your friends. So like they say, some of them that are in the boat with you may not be rowing the same way that you're rowing. So watch yourself. And with that,